You did not find this reading by accident. It found you because something in your life is trying to end. This is the moment right before your life changes. What cycle, belief, or dynamic is currently shaping my viewer's reality? The ocean. Ocean is about emotional depth. I don't like that. That's not quite there. Emotional depth. I'm going to look up the in the book where the meaning is for it. But the ocean in this position is relating to relational dynamics, identity narratives that you have deep emotional investment in, so like childhood related themes and patterns, emotional habits that have been shaped out of these conditioning. I missed it, passed it. Mm-hmm. There it is. I was like, why can't I find this? Okay, the ocean. The unconscious, the depths, the incomprehensible. The power of the ocean is unmatched. To step into its salty waters is to step into the unknown. By its sheer volume, the ocean represents the unconscious, all that is beyond our understanding. We cannot live within the ocean. We cannot claim it, manage it, or own it. It rejects our every attempt to dominate nature. Yet amid its overwhelming power, it calls to us, inspires us, and invigorates our life on land. It dissolves the little us into the big us. When the energy of the ocean is present, there is change stirring that is beyond any change you've known before. The ego must dissolve. The saline swells work on your very cells, your fibers, your deepest underlying beliefs. Like Aphrodite, we rise from the ocean's froth, a new being. Life is change. Let the wave crash. So childhood patterns, the end of relational dynamics, identity narratives, emotional habits, inherited conditioning from childhood and youth. Okay, that is the cycle, belief, dynamic that is currently shaping your reality and that is coming to an end. This is like a lot of that trauma healing. The work has been done. You have faced your paths, your shadow work, and you are ready to move on to the next step. What chapter in this is ending? Whether the viewer accepts it or not. Because this is change. So what part of this change will not be stopped and is outside of control? We're trying to stay out of Peter Pan energies here with these questions, okay? We want to rise into maturity and adulthood. Okay? The 11th house, community and technology. So your community. These can be like beliefs and ideas on what defines community for you, a healthy community. You might be looking around you at the environments that you are in, the friendships, social circles, even your family, and going, this isn't working. There's a lot of people who sit in the scapegoat dynamic that experience this, and you are likely sitting in that threshold. And when I say, hold on, when I say maturing and use that in reference here, I'm not calling any of us, I'm not saying that we aren't adults here. But what I am saying is that we are adults who are living with emotional patterns and behaviors and habits that we learned in childhood, that we are now being called to put down. Okay, so you are looking deeply at your relationship dynamics around community and belonging, and where those childhood patterns that were toxic, holding you back, harmful, keeping you in relationships that drained you, and seeing them for what they really are in your life. And many of them are anchors in waters deeper than we were supposed to go. We need to let go of that. That's not our ocean, right? That's not our river. We need to stay in our timeline and our stream, hold on to our thread that leads us to our greatest good and highest potential. We aren't here to live other people's stories, and that's what ancestral trauma is too, right? We're not here to live other people's stories. We're not here to relive the stories of the past. We're here to write our own story, to master our own note. What cannot cross this threshold with my viewer? These childhood patterns of relationship, of relating and interacting and connecting with the world. These survival patterns are ending. What cannot go forward? And these were the things that were outside of our ability to control. So these are happening whether you want them to or not. Ignition, things are being set in motion. Okay, this is fire, this is power, this is going to be fast. And once it starts going, it is just going to blaze, okay? But remember that you're the ocean. I don't think I have ever heard of any ocean who was afraid of a forest fire. So let things burn. You're not worried about the fire. Let it burn. Let go. Okay? What fear is guarding your next level? In order to release this, what fear specifically is it that needs to be released? What fear is guarding your next level? Because these things are happening. And out of the ocean, because you feel this ignition, is coming the fear. Okay? And it's the evil queen. This is a mother wound. It's a mother wound. You are afraid of stepping out of the comfortable dynamics that you learned with your mother. If your mother was emotionally unavailable, this is going to have you in patterns where you run from things that feel like availability and openness and security. So you're afraid to let go of the mother wound, but you see it. With the ocean's ability to hold everything, the capacity, you see this, you understand this, you've done the work. You're not here because this is new to you. You know exactly what this injury is, what this wound is. You're just afraid to let go. Because the old pattern is familiar, like you know how to dance the dance. Okay, we get attached to our familiar suffering. It's an addiction. It is the comfort we develop inside patterns that hurt us because those patterns are predictable. The subconscious experiences the safety in this pain because they know what it is. And if they've experienced this, right, like a lot of our trauma, we're afraid of the what is worse. But what if what we've experienced was the worst and we learn how to set the boundaries and take the steps to avoid it? So there is never anything worse than that. Okay. Another reason that we are afraid to let go of this is because we build our identity around this struggle, right? Many of us are so used to being the scapegoat, that's all we know. What am I without my victim identity? What am I without this narrative? What do I talk about if I have to stop saying these things happened to me and I am living my life still inside of them? And many of us, once we get to the bottom of that and we find the peace in it, we're uncomfortable with the peace. We don't know what to do with it. We're so addicted to the neurochemical soup of chaos and instability that our brain literally doesn't know how to process the quiet when the neurochemicals balance. So, we don't sabotage happiness because we hate ourselves. We sabotage because stability feels unfamiliar and therefore unsafe, right? And so this is why we hold on to those stories, those dynamics too, right? Mother is God in the eyes of the child. We're still seeking that protection from mother. We're afraid to move on because of these things. Okay, what am I without this identity? Okay. What version, so now that we've covered all the heavy, what version of my viewer is emerging from all of this? These changes are happening, right? The community that we were in, because of the work that we have done, healing our trauma, all the way down to the depths of our soul. We've gone all the way down. Identified our core wounds, our attachment styles. We've done all of it. So what version of us is emerging from this? Because we changed. It's naturally going to cause the environments we are in to change in response. Ooh, I'm losing my hands here. Okay. You know this, you're familiar with this guy. The warrior, perfectionism, burnout, and then strength, right? Because of these relationship dynamics and our addiction to familiar suffering, the warrior is born to protect us, right? But we know this and we're afraid of this too. We've identified this too. This is the shadow elements that were created to protect us. When our needs were not getting met by those who were in charge of our care and nurturing, in this, it's the mother wound, but it is applied to the core caregivers. It could be a father wound, core trauma event. But the warrior is those elements of us that came out in survival to protect us. And so the version of you emerging from this is this warrior, but we're entering the warrior in the garden stage. The ability to put that down. Okay? You don't need to prove the warrior anymore. What actions prove and will show the viewer that they have crossed over this threshold? Out of victim and past childhood related identities into this emotionally regulated, mature warrior in the garden state, where they don't have to live their life ignited and armed, but can put their sword down, sharpened. We don't forget what we've experienced. We just don't carry it around anymore. We can put the sword down. What action proves you've crossed over? You'll start seeing new opportunities arise. There will be a reinvigoration of energies in your lives. You'll feel more connected with source. And I would probably bet there's something to do with the next lunar cycle. So maybe within a month or month cycles, you'll also start seeing the ego disappearing. So you'll feel less resistance from your ego to these steps moving forward. Your confidence will start increasing, right? And that is the new warrior that is prepared for the energies moving forward. This isn't the angry teenager warrior that is lashing out at anything and, you know, rejecting all forms of connection because it is just applying one fixed identity and label, such as all men are bad, all women are scandalous. You know, it's not attaching those generalities to people anymore. This is the wise warrior. This is the emotionally regulated, somatically aware, you know, earth vibing, astrological, current riding warrior, however you want to phrase that. Okay. And you'll start seeing less of that struggle with the mirrors and your projection. What you start seeing in the world reflected back to you will start showing you more peace and ease. You won't see the conflict in the world around you as much because it will be reflecting this new inner state of openness and opportunity. Okay. Openness to opportunity. All right. Where do I want to go next? I want to see who the ally or resource supporting us in this is. Who is the ally? I'm going to move these like this. Because if we're moving out of old community, past lives community, that creates a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. And so it will send in the support that you do need because the universe wants us to achieve our goals. It wants to send us what we ask for. So let's support a resource. What ally or resource is supporting my viewer through this? The Pilgrim. And so in supporting that, you'll start seeing an increase in opportunity. You will see people offering you opportunities, right? And that means you'll be feeling more opportunities to step into your feminine because your feminine energies are the ones that will be receiving this. Okay, so you're reaching a point of balance between your masculine and feminine. You'll know when to step into your action and drive energies. And you will start seeing more people because you're setting these boundaries, opening opportunities to you. Okay. What message does their future self, the one that will, you know, right now, you are the product of the ingredients of your past, what they created, but you are the ingredient for your future self. So what do they want you to know about what is being formed in this? They want you to know. What message does your higher self send back to them now? This will either enable you to reframe your fear or offer you some sort of validation from your future self. Basically, to me, this feels like somebody who is just done with this bullshit. You're done with that bullshit and ready to move on. It's a common theme in today's energy is kind of all over. And this came out in the other reading too, Butterfly. You're transforming these energies and you're going to rise as something new. This is the balance, right? I like to think of like the dragonfly would have been another appropriate one that I wouldn't have been surprised to see either because that would have balanced the warrior also. But if you think about a monarch butterfly, right, they have the longest migration. I think definitely of an insect. I think it might be of more than just the insect field. But that takes a warrior's heart and pilgrim. So you may be going on a trek. You may be going on a journey. You are definitely moving away from these energies into a state of more stability and opportunity. because you've been able to balance this, right? You know where the influence the evil queen has had on your motivation, your ability to drive towards your goals, and the formation of your community, right? Because initially, too, we form our communities based off of our family structures. And for a lot of us, we've seen that in our social systems, and we've started removing ourselves from social systems that replicate the energies of those traumatic family structures. That's moving away into new communities, new opportunities. It's a butterfly. The messages of our parents often killed our motivation and drive towards goals and visions that we had. Our parents' fear of how the world treated them shaped our ambitions for our futures and what we thought we were possible of. Many of us are reclaiming those. And this is where you're at right now. But it absolutely requires you facing that evil queen energy in your life. You are the warrior. Take the action against it. Move out of the communities that are causing you harm in your ability to reach your goals and live your greatest potential. Are you happy and fulfilled in these relationships? Are they helping you build towards your legacy? No? Then find the ways to set the boundaries to remove yourself from them in the ways that is appropriate. It's not always complete removal of access. Sometimes it's just a boundary because I don't want this person coming over to my house, but if I meet them in a coffee shop, I can talk to them. Sometimes it's as little as that, but take action on those boundaries and get yourself out of the places that are causing harm because they're built on narratives from your childhood, from your mother wounds, parental wounds, caregiver wounds. Addressing the ways within yourself. Take that back. You have to take action on that. And that's what I've got for you. Welcome to the next phase of your life.